What's up, everybody? We are live. We got a banging card this Saturday. We got the champ Davison, man, versus Brandon Moreno. Arguably, I think Moreno's, the best fighter in the division besides Davison. So this is going to be a really good fight. Kelton, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? It feels like we were just talking about a Davison Figueiredo pay-per-view week only a few weeks ago, and here we are again. I actually think this is a big step up from Alex Perez. I view Brandon Moreno as much more of a threat, so I'm excited to talk about that one. And when you look at the card up and down, I think it's sick, man. I don't have any bets yet, but I have my eye on a lot of things, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about for this card. I mean, we have a lot to talk about fantasy wise. Last card, we'll do a quick recap. Last card, I don't think we did a recap of last card. So, last card, yeah, man, it was a good night. Both of us, I had another winning night 2 weeks in a row, thanks to Vittori. Plus 2.4 units in the night. Vittori was my only bet because the Dern fight got scrapped, and yeah, Vittori went out there and made it look pretty dominant, man. I thought he looked really good. I think Jack won, the third round. That's about it. Vittori proved he's a good fighter. I think Vittori's arguably one of the best guys in the division, and I really think he should get the Porcina fight next. Hill versus OSP. Both of us have been on Hill for a long time. I've bet on Hill as both, his first two UFC fights against Darko and the Jobber Abreu. But I passed on this fight. I thought he was going to win. I was confident. I just didn't want to play that minus 170. I should have bet it, but it's what it is. He proved that he's a beast, and I'm looking forward to his next fight. Benitez versus James. We both talked about that off air. I mean, I wish I would have got minus 110. I mean, Benitez went out there and looked really good. Delizzi versus Allen. I mean, I don't know how that was a split. That was definitely a dominant decision for Delizzi. And then Levitt versus Wyman. I've been on really high on this kid, dude, since the Contender Series. I bet on him versus Flores. I like this guy a lot, man. I really think this guy has a bright future. I was actually watching his documentary on YouTube. It's like a 10-minute video, and it talks about how his coach John Wood, how he thought he was to kind of, he wasn't going to do that good when he first came to the gym and all this, and now he thinks he's going to be a future champ. I mean, dude, watch it. 10 minutes on YouTube, look it up, and this guy's a total nerd, man. That's why I like him. He just does not look like a fighter at all. He's just so awkward, but he's just so good. And I feel like his striking is probably going to be improving every fight. So I think they should build him up, but they should throw him in there with Bob Ross or something like that. Because let's be honest, he would absolutely destroy Bob Ross. Smoker versus Teco. Yeah, dude, Teco was winning that first round. Yeah, I thought he was in it. He was looking pretty good, but then Smoker just showed heart and got him out of there. Damn, dude. Topuria versus Jackson. Yeah, I mean, I like Topuria. I bet on him last fight. You bet on him this fight. He looked really good. He's definitely a good prospect. I'm kind of anxious to see who they're going to match him up with next. They could throw him at the Wolves and give him, Thug Nasty. I think that would be a fucking great fight. Prospect versus prospect. And then Collier versus Vellante. Yeah, man, I picked Collier, man. I didn't bet him, but, I was 8-0 in my pick. So, Collier fucking went out there and got the dub. And, what kind of sucks is that for DraftKings purposes, I had the winning lineup. I'm sorry. I had Collier, and I had like four other guys that scored really high, but I had Durden in my lineup, and I couldn't set it because I had to work. So my boy Greg, he set it late, and I think he put in like fucking Jane or something like that on accident because he didn't know. It is what it is. But if Durden didn't get scrapped, I think Durden would have scored high. But damn, dude, the other five guys scored really high, so I think we won like $80 overall. So we could have had a bigger night. But yeah, man, what about you?
Yeah, man, I had a great night. I swept the board, two winning bets. I had a third bet. I got canceled on fight day. That was Tyler Santos against Montana De La Rosa, and shout out to her. She just got rebooked against Julian Robertson next week. I think that's an amazing fight, man. I haven't looked into it yet, but I would think Julian Robertson probably has a big grappling advantage, and Tyler has a big striking advantage. Can't wait to look into that one. But as for this card, bro, props to you on the Marvin Vittori bet. He looked, fantastic. He almost even got Jack out of there early. Probably won 4 rounds in that fight. Great performance. He's a top 5 guy. What can I say? Jamal Hill, that was a winning bet. I had a big 4-unit bet on him at minus 170. Damn, dude, that performance was just so mature for an 8-0 guy. I mean, didn't get too aggressive, picked his shots perfectly. I think you got to mix in a little bit of not only was that the best Jamal Hill we've ever seen, that was kind of one of the worst OSPs we've ever seen as well. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He showed up to weigh-ins overweight, first one on the scale, didn't want to cut anymore. Just didn't look like he had the most enthusiasm in him. And Jamal Hill got the damn thing done, so appreciate that. Gabriel Benitez, round 1 KO to Justin James. Needed a body. Fucking nasty, dude. That was a great knockout. I could watch that over and over again. Mowgli's one of those guys where, he's not an easy fight for anybody, man. I mean, he's tough on the feet. He kicks as hard as a fucking mule. He's got a decent ground game. Like, I feel like Mowgli is going to be one of these guys. He's exciting, too. He's going to be one of these guys that's probably going to be in the UFC for a really long time, assuming he keeps getting matchups like Ryan James and whatnot. He's definitely not going to be a top 15 or anything, but I like Benitez, man, and I got no problem betting him if the spot's right. And you said it, he was minus 110. He was actually plus money. They opened Gabriel Benitez plus money here. Can you fucking believe that shit? So if any of you guys got in early on that Benitez line, props to you. Yeah, I thought Dolidze clearly won. Definitely rounds 1 and 2 for sure. Like, I don't know how you can argue Allen won 2 rounds. Like, maybe he won the 3rd. That's it. I don't know, man. I like Dolidze, but comparing him to the rest of the Georgian prospects, he's exciting. He's got big power. He's a knockout artist. It just didn't happen this fight. Maybe if he comes around next fight, gets a big knockout in the first round, maybe my thoughts will start to change. But I'm just not convinced the ceiling might be too high on this guy. Jordan Levitt, I had him in a parlay. Talk about easy money. KO, slam, 20 seconds in. Really smart finish, too, the way he posturized Matt Wyman, slammed him right on his head. Perfect, smart finish. He's a smart guy. That dude might be, for sure he's on the weird side. Let's not even beat around the bush, but you can tell he's a smart guy. He's got good fight IQ. He's got good tools. Let's see where Jordan Levitt goes, man. Definitely don't push the guy to the moon. Keep giving him Matt Wyman type fights, but he's exciting, man. I like him. I'm excited to see him fight again. Louis Smolka versus Quinones. I'm beating myself up over this one because I bet Louis Smolka when it was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago. He shows up, he misses weight, the fight gets scrapped, he's tweeting negative things on Twitter. You were posting the pictures of him eating cookies on fight week and shit. Like the way I was viewing it, like Smolka clearly is the better fighter to me. Like he reached a higher point. He reached the top 15 of the division. I just view him as a better fighter than Quinones for sure. More tools. But all that shit that happened just made me scared to bet him this week. And I don't know, man. I guess I shouldn't have looked too much into it. I should have looked into the fact that he looked very good for the weigh-ins for this fight. Looked on point. I don't know. Smolka's just a inconsistent guy. I don't want to regain too much faith in him now and be overconfident in his next fight and he pulls a stunt and loses. But yeah, against a guy like Teco, man, I kind of knew that it was going to take just one time for Louis Smolka to get on top, and the dude's top game is unreal. His ground and pound for a little guy, it's unreal. The top control, it's very good. Louis Smolka is he's a great fighter and he put on a good performance. Ilia Topuria, he was the other half of that parlay with Levitt, 4 units minus 108. So made 6 units on the night. I'm up 50 units on the year. It's a good year. Topuria came in. This was the fight that I think I called to a T the most. We all know about Topuria's grappling, but I said it, man. Don't grapple here and give Damon Jackson chances. You actually have a huge advantage on the feet, and dude, he came in like a fucking wild banshee, threw everything but the kitchen sink, and he finally got Damon Jackson out of there. Clean knockout, beautiful. And Damon Jackson will be back, though. I actually like Damon Jackson. Watching tape for this fight, I'm like, oh, yeah, Topuria is going to win this fight for sure. He is the better fighter. way higher ceiling, all that. But man, I got to give Damon Jackson credit. Like, I think he's a lot better now than he was in his first UFC stint. And I think depending on his next matchup, you can see Damon Jackson winning some fights. He's no slouch at all. And then the first fight, I'm with you, bro. I picked Collier. Luckily, I had him in a lot of DraftKings lineups, but like, man, we just got to start looking at the numbers, bro. Like, what was he? Plus 160 to fade fat Gian Vellante. Like, I don't know. But then on the other side, it's kind of hard to put your money on a fat Jake Collier. So I get it. I get it if you wanted to pass. It probably was smarter to just make Collier more of a DK play. But this was interesting, man, because firstly, I thought both guys showed up in way better shape than they did last time. That's for sure. I know Collier weighed the same, but he clearly looked different. Like, he dropped fat, gained muscle. Like, he looked a lot better. And he looked good in the fight, too. Looked way better than he did in the Aspinall fight. I know the Aspinall fight was like 3 seconds long, but yeah, he was good, man. He threw a lot of volume for a heavyweight, for sure. That's what won him the fight, the volume, absolutely. And we'll see who he gets next. But something tells me it won't be as easy as a fight as fat Gian Vellante. And speaking of Gian Vellante, we might never see him again. So, yeah, it was an interesting first fight to the card.
Yeah, Volante's getting cut. Yeah, let's talk about fantasy real quick. So this is a big week for everyone playing fantasy football that made their playoffs. You got playoff week. Me and Kelton are playing head to head, and shout out to Half the Battle, Shaq. In his league, I actually won it last year. I'm the reigning champ, and I'm gonna probably win it this year as well. I actually just realized that I picked Barkley in the first round, so I got the first seed with Barkley. Getting what, he played one game or something like that. So it's a big week. I made it in 5 out of 7 weeks in the playoffs. I think I played Clint from Die Hard out of May in 1 week. He's going to get absolutely fucking thrashed, but it is what it is. Anything you want to say, Kelton?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I'm in Shaq's league. I'm definitely going to give you a run for your money this week. I mean, my first pick wasn't the greatest either. He wasn't injured the whole season, but I think Ezekiel Elliott has definitely been a bit of a bust. But thankfully, me and you have both had a lot of guys come through for us. I mean, I know you picked up the waiver wire guy of the year in James Robinson. I had Josh Allen as my quarterback the whole year. I managed to somehow get Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins. And on top of that, man, my tight end, who I've kept in there in that slot pretty much the whole year, one of the most consistent, underrated tight ends in the entire league, TJ Hawkinson, my boy. So I love my team, man, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to come out here and smoke Justin, but I think either way, we're going to have a nice competitive game, and it should be a lot of fun. But make no mistake about it, I'm coming for that crown.
We have a good matchup, dude. I think it's
we
close.
Do.
Like, I looked at the projections shit. I think I'm projected by like 0.1, but I have a defense on waivers because I don't know if you know my strategy. I stream defense every week. I'm not playing the Raiders defense this week. I played them against the Jets last week. So I got a defense on waivers. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a good battle. I mean, you have Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. It's basically two of the best up-and-coming young quarterbacks in the league going against each other. You have Allen. I have Justin Herbert. Everyone's talking crap about the performance last week, and it was a really good move from Belichick, dude. I mean, it's my own fault for playing Herbert against, that's how Belichick is. He's a fucking really good coach. He's a good mastermind, and that Patriots defense shut him down. This week, he has probably the best matchup you can have as a quarterback. You're going against the fucking Falcons. No offense to the Falcons. I know there's a lot of Falcons fans out there. Cough, Dan, from Half the Battle. But they have the worst fucking secondary in the league, dude. So Justin Herbert's in a fucking feast, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with that. Shout out to the other guys who made the playoffs, by the way. Of course, our boy Notorious and Kim. I think, I don't think they have as much of a chance as me and you do. But, yeah, you got to give those guys a shout out.
There's a lot of luck in fantasy, dude. Anything can happen. And, this is a really big week, man, for all of us. And it's a big week for me, too, man. In my biggest money league, I need to win. If I win, I get $800 going into the playoffs. So I need a big week from James Robinson. So hopefully he shows up.
And one more thing I want to say. I know me and you were talking about probably starting a dynasty league for next season. If any of our viewers out there are, possibly interested in joining that dynasty league, I know we're going to need some spots filled. So if you love fantasy football like we do, you want to be in a dynasty league, hit me up. I'll probably get you in there.
Yeah, man. Is there any more fantasy talk you want to have before we go?
I mean, I just want to say it's my first year doing it. I made the playoffs in 2 out of 3 leagues, so I mean, I'm happy. And you're right, bro. You've been telling me for a couple of years that fantasy football is the best thing in the world. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually just found about betting NFL props and that online. You actually told me about it, and I'm 4-0 since I started. So I mean, dude, I'm like hooked on this shit, man. It's I like it because it's just like fantasy. It really is. I mean, look at the bet I'd made last night. Yeah, it was a sweat, but I mean, I was working, so I couldn't watch the game. But I put a unit on Lamar Jackson plus 135 to get 2 passing touchdowns. That's fantasy right there. I mean, I'm never betting on the money lines again. I was losing. I was like 0-3 in my first NFL bets. I'm like, dude, I can't do these. Like this money lines, these overs. I'm not a fan of this. But then when I look at the prop bets, I'm like, dude, this is like fantasy football right here, dude. Like
Exactly.
I had a bet on Marvin Jones last week to get a touchdown, and I have him on like 5 of my fantasy teams. So I'm like, looking, oh my god, this is double, and he got a touchdown. So it's, dude, I love prop bets. I'm 4-0. I will admit the Carson Wentz bet that I had was so fucking lucky with that Hail Mary, but I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, your bet on Lamar Jackson last night might have been a little sweaty, but hey, you got plus money. So, I mean, there was obviously value. You made a good bet. And I will say props are definitely the way to go in NFL just because, like, betting those point spreads or money lines on teams, like, there's just so much that goes into the game of football. It is a team sport. This isn't UFC. There's so many more factors that go into it. So it's just so hard to call the outcomes from teams. But if you're betting like specific player props, like you're only counting on, one guy, or, if you're betting a wide receiver, obviously you're counting on the quarterback to come through too. But yeah, props are the way to go in NFL.
I like doing quarterbacks and stuff. Like that's my thing. Like passing touchdowns. I'm so mad. I almost bet on Josh Allen get 3 passing touchdowns at plus 200, and I didn't do it. Oh my god, dude, that would have been a bet. He got 4. Oh man, dude, at plus 200, dude. This week, man, I'm gonna. Damn, I gotta put some more money on some of these bets because I think tomorrow I might. See, got Patriots against the Rams. I gotta look. Like I think Cooper Kupp should get a touchdown, so I'm gonna look more into that. But as of right now, I think that should be a play for me. Cooper Kupp touchdown. So first fight of the night, man. We got Peter Slippery Pete Barrett versus Chase Hooper. Man, dude, Kelvin, who you got in this one?
Yeah, man, this is an interesting fight. I've had a history with both guys here. Peter Barrett, for me, I'm just going to come out and say it. He has easily been in my top 5 UFC fades ever since, he won on Contender Series. The second Dana gave this guy a contract, I'm like, well, he's going at the top of my fade list. I mean, there's not much to like about Barrett. Like he's very tough. He's durable. Like I think he's only been knocked out once, but I've seen him eat a lot of shots. It's really and it sucks for this fight in his case. It's really his grappling and his IQ and the fact that he puts himself in a lot of bad spots. You saw it in the Zalal fight. I'll say this: he did survive that submission attempt from Zalal, which that was very nice. But and I know Zalal was 4-0 in the UFC before fighting Topuria, so that's no slouch whatsoever. But I would actually say that Chase Hooper has a better ground game than Yusuf Zalal. Like, I know Chase Hooper is kind of viewed as a joke right now. He's only 21 years old. He just took an embarrassing loss, but let's talk about it for a second. Like Alex, and I know I bet on Chase Hooper, so y'all can laugh at me all you want, but yeah, I bet on Chase Hooper there at minus 120. I was just so I don't know how to explain it. I saw the fact that Alex Caceres got submitted fucking 8 times, and Chase Hooper has an amazing ground game. It's just, I guess I just overrated Hooper's ability to be able to get it to the mat in the first place. He just was not able to. Caceres is a longtime UFC veteran, fought a perfect fight. I mean, it was first L time for Chase Hooper, but let's be honest, Peter Barrett is an astronomical step down from Alex Caceres. Peter Barrett is not a long-time UFC guy. I mean, Alex Caceres has been in the UFC for what, almost 10 years now? Peter Barrett, he's lucky to be here in the first place, man. I mean, no disrespect. Like I said, he's a very tough guy. He is a good fighter. I just see him putting himself in a bad spot here against Hooper. He does it consistently, gives up his back. constantly initiates the clinch when he shouldn't be, gets taken down easily. This will be a spot where Chase Hooper is going to be able to get it down to where he wants, and I'm going to say he locks in a sub, and I'm going to say he gets it in the first round. So I actually think the minus 400 line is justified.
Yeah, I went into this fight, man, looking to fade Hooper, man. I really wanted to do it. I mean, he's going to be a fade for sure, as long as he sticks around in the UFC. I heard that he's been training with aspirin. That's a good move. Barrett, man, he's 34. If you watch this fight against what is it? What's the guy? Not Choi. That dude that he fought in Contender Series. What was his last name?
Who Barrett fought?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a Korean guy. I forget his name.
yeah. I
Those
think it was
names are
like
tough.
I think it was Chu or Choi or Wu.
Yeah.
I forget, but I mean that was a really really close fight. That was 29-28, and that guy took him down multiple times. Had him in some rough spots, and he had him in some rough spots on the mat that I think Hooper could capitalize and get him out of there. I mean, let's be honest, dude. Hooper has a huge advantage here on the mat. On the feet, yeah, I like his pressure. He has a great chin, but yeah, Barrett's the better striker. It's the pure striker versus grappler matchup. You could do a live bet here because one thing about Barrett, I'll say, is he's tough and he has good cardio. And he has a lot of heart, dude. I mean, this guy has a big advantage here on the feet, but then again, Hooper has a big advantage on the mat. I mean, I wouldn't want to play this fight. I'll go with Chase Hooper with the submission. It's just hard, man, to ignore that Barrett's been in a lot of bad spots. He's in really bad spots with that guy on Contender Series, and that guy sucks. And Barrett, one thing, he has a good straight left, and Hooper is tough, but Hooper gets hit way too much, dude. Hooper's, not doesn't have the best fucking wrestling. He's just tough, and he has, that really good chin, and he pulls guard and stuff. And I do think he can take down a guy like Peter Barrett. It's just going to be one of those sweaty fights. So I'll go Chase Hooper by submission, but maybe you could do a live bet here, man, because I don't know. I wouldn't want to bet this fight.
Well, I will say I actually have been looking into Chase Hooper inside the distance is currently sitting at minus 130, which I mean, comparing the minus 130 to minus 400, Peter Barrett's a guy who's been finished multiple times. I don't think that prop bet is bad at all. And I mean, I'm looking at it, man.
Yep, so we both got Hooper. Next fight, man, we got Sergey Spivak versus Jared Vanderaa. This is another fight that I went in, pre-tape wanting to fade Spivak, man. I thought Vanderaa was live, and then I watched the tape. I think the line's a little off, but I got to go with Spivak here. I actually thought he was kind of a joke, man, after he got smoked against Will Harris, and then Tybura kind of just dominated him. But you watch his last fight, yeah, we were all wrong about De Castro. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, Carlos Felipe fucking dominated him so bad. And yeah, Felipe had a close fight with Spivak. I mean, I do think Spivak won, but Spivak's striking looked really good. I'm not going to lie, dude. I mean, he has a good right hand. I think he has a really big speed advantage here. I think, Jared's really slow. Spivak's going to be like 30 pounds lighter than him. And both these guys are grapplers. Spivak has a 78-inch reach. Good jab. He's tough. One thing with Jared, though, and, he trains at a good camp, Team Quest, trains with Dan Henderson, trains with Dom Reyes. He has really good leg kicks as well. And he has a good chin. I mean, you saw his fight against Henry, Hunsucker or whatever his last name was. That dude, legit. I mean, threw a lot at him, and Jared just ate it, man. I mean, that guy's chin is really good, dude. So I got to go with Spivak here, though. I think he will get him down, but on the feet, I got to give him the advantage. I think he takes down Jared and wins a pretty good decision. So I'll go with Spivak here.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was in the same boat as you. I saw Sergey Spivak minus 200s. Thought, all right, let's see what Vanderaa is all about. I know I saw his Contender Series fight live, and I couldn't really remember it all that much. Rewatched it. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That Hunsucker dude who, I mean, let's be honest, he's a regional bum. He was throwing heat. He was landing heat. Vandeera's chin held up, though. I will say that. You're right. Vanderaa is very durable. I don't think he's ever been knocked out. So, I mean, for heavyweight, that's great. He's super durable. I like that. But the fact that he was getting hit so much, and the fact, you go through and look at his career, he does make a lot of mistakes. He isn't the most, gifted fighter in the world. I mean, let's look at what this guy has done on the regional scene, man. I mean, he was in the LFA for a little bit, but he couldn't even hang in the LFA scene. He went 0-3 in the LFA, with 2 of those being finishes, by the way. The dude couldn't even hang in the fucking LFA scene, so he went over to South Africa to fight in EFC. Guys, he was losing fights over in EFC too against Andrew Van Zyl, a guy who got finished by Cyril Asker and Ruan Potts. I mean, guys, I don't know if you were, some of you probably were, but back in the day when Ruan Potts was in the UFC in like 2014, I mean, he was known as like the biggest joke in the UFC. I mean, there was memes and jokes about him everywhere. We're talking about the lowest level heavyweights of like 6 years ago. And that's the level of guys Vanderaa was competing against in the regional scene. He got some wins in the EFC, I'll say that. Like, he actually got a lot of wins in the EFC, but he lost some too, man. And just, I don't think that South Africa scene is, it's not the greatest. Props to him, though. He did beat, almost 100-fight vet Tony Lopez, but Tony Lopez has lost a million fights. I'm pretty sure Spivak beat Tony Lopez too. Except Spivak actually finished Tony Lopez. Vanderaa went to a decision with him. And then, I mean, I haven't even talked about Spivak. When I went and watched the tape on him, I see improvements, man. I mean, I thought his striking looked way better against Felipe. And, like, we saw Felipe striking against Jorgen De Castro. I mean, Felipe ain't a slouch of a striker either. So the fact that Spivak was able to go out there and, like, seriously outbox him, like, his jab looked good. He looked on point. I mean, he looked somewhat, he looked good for a heavyweight standard, he moved well, and I think he outboxes Vanderaa all day long in this fight. I don't think he knocks him out. Like I said, Vanderaa is very durable, but I mean, for every second I see this fight being on the feet, I see Spivak outboxing him, man. And when it comes to the grappling, I think both guys are pretty good grapplers. I mean, I'll be honest, I was actually kind of impressed with Vandera's grappling. Like, it's not bad at all, but same thing with Spivak. His grappling's not that bad either. I mean, I know it's tied to Avasa, and he has 0 grappling, but, like, I don't know, man. I thought that was pretty impressive. And even in the 3rd round against the Felipe fight, Spivak, I mean, like you said, it was somewhat of a close fight, but Spivak showed that fight IQ. He got that takedown, and I don't think he let Felipe get back up the rest of the round, so I like Spivak wherever this fight goes, to be honest, and I think he is a very rightful big favorite. I'll even be honest, guys. I'm actually thinking about parlaying Sergey Spivak. I think he's that safe in this spot. I just don't see Vanderaa advantage anywhere. That's weird to say on a guy like Sergey Spivak, but this should be his fight. And then one more thing I'll say that's very interesting. Vanderaa actually called out Sergey Spivak. He won his Contender Series fight, got right on the mic and said, I want Sergey Spivak. They booked the fight like a day or 2 later. Maybe Vanderaa knows something we don't. But, I mean, the tape shows me Spivak should win this fight.
Yes, sir. Next fight, we have a newly added fight. We got Tisha Torres versus Sam Hughes. Yeah, man, who you got in this one?
Yeah, this is a nice new little fight. I think it's interesting to see a long time top 10 staple in Tisha Torres taking on this newcomer in Sam Hughes. But that's the day and age we're in. We're getting a million fights canceled every single day, it seems. And with Sam Hughes, you might look at her record and see that she lost to Vanessa Demopoulos, otherwise known as the Stripper. She actually even got finished by Demopoulos, round 4 of a championship fight. But if you go back and watch that fight, Sam Hughes was clearly beating Demopoulos, even somewhat handily. It's just Demopoulos, I'll say this about Demopoulos. That girl is insanely tough. She's insanely durable. She never stops trying for subs, and some of her sub attempts aren't that bad. So the fact that Sam Hughes took that first L in a comeback sub against a sub artist, I know Demopoulos is, not the greatest, but I don't look too much into that loss. She has bounced back since. She got a round 1 sub against a 4-1 girl, so I don't think Hughes is some kind of scrub. Like, she is a good grappler. I think the striking might have a little bit to go, and that's probably going to be the problem here because she's not going to be able to take down Tisha Torres, I think, and Tisha Torres should most likely be able to just come out here, do the damn thing, 30-27. She's faster. She's the better striker. She's way more experienced. So, yeah, Tisha Torres definitely deserves to be minus 400 here, and I'll say she wins a 30-27 decision, but I do think Sam Hughes might win a fight or 2 if she gets a step down in her next one.
Yeah, I got Torres as well. I know I'm not gonna pick Sam Hughes. I don't really think that she's that impressive. She was what beating the stripper, then she lost to the stripper. I mean, she was looking pretty good against the stripper, man, but then she lost. The strippers, I don't know. You think that stripper's gonna do anything in the UFC if she makes it there?
No, well, she's not going to make it to the UFC. She just lost another fight.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not. It's kind of hard, man, for short notice fight. I mean, just for this girl, I didn't really watch that much tape, man. So I don't really know how one fight I watched is gonna do me for a pick against Torres, who I do think that's on the decline, even though she's fought good competition. She beat Van Buren. I think Hill would have beat her though, honestly. But it's really hard, man, betting on Angela Hill, dude. Both those fights that she lost against Watterson and Claudia, I thought she won. So she's always in those close fights. So I'll go with Tisha Torres, but I'm not confident. Next fight, we got Justin Tucker versus Billy Q. It's my first play of the night. It's kind of funny, man, because I went into this fight pre-tape liking Billy Q, and I thought I was, going to be going with him. And then I watched tape, and I switched my pick, and I bet on Tucker. So I got 3 units on Tucker. Yes, for all the people out there wondering, I did botch the line. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that he's plus 135, plus 140 right now. I mean, I hit him at plus 115. I'm really shocked, dude, that he went that high. Did I get plus 115? Let me check real quick. Yeah, so with this matchup, I think Tucker's the better grappler here, dude. I think that he has really good grappling. I think he can take down Billy. I know Billy has a good ground game and he's, a black belt, but, Tucker's a legit black belt as well. I think that on the feet, I think it's close. I think Billy's technical. Billy has better cardio for sure, but on the feet, I think Billy has good striking. I think he's tough. I think he's just, he's one of those guys that gets better throughout the fight. But he gets hit a lot, takes a lot of damage. Even Kyle Nelson had made that first round pretty close, even though I thought Billy dominated that fight. But the first round was pretty close. I think Tucker's a really fast starter. I think we saw his striking a lot last fight against James. You watch him, in the first in the UFC, we didn't really see a lot of striking. He has a lot of good kicks, really good kicks. I like his boxing. I like his straight left. I think that, on the feet it's really close. Like I mentioned, he has good pressure too. I think he has to go after it and pressure a guy like Billy Q get in his face. And give him the wrestling advantage. I think maybe Billy could take him down too, but I think he has a better grappling. I think we can see a lot of stuff that we saw Spike do against Billy, but Spike gassed. And I don't think Tucker's going to gas like Spike. So, I mean, Tucker looked, fresh in that third round against James, dude. And then this fight against Choi before that, he took him down multiple times. He took down a really big featherweight dude like that. So I do think he has a grappling advantage. I do think Billy has the better cardio, but I just think that the pace that Tucker's going to bring, I think the wrestling, I think that the pressure, I think he's going to do enough for a decision. I don't know if he's going to go out there and finish a guy like Billy Q. We've seen him get finished by a jobber before in Quinones. But just he takes a lot of damage, dude, and he has a lot of volume too. But I'm impressed with Tucker, man. That James fight was really impressive. He got hurt, and he just dominated after that, man. So I'm going to go with Justin Tucker. I think he mixes it up. I think he takes down a guy like Billy Q, who we've seen can get taken down. That's how he lost on the Ultimate Fighter against Rogers. That's how he lost. And so, I mean, he didn't lose against Spike, but I mean, I thought it was a close fight. I know we agree or disagree, but I thought it was a really close fight. Could have gone either way. And, Spike took him down multiple times. And I think a guy like Tucker is better than Spike. And I think Tucker has way better grappling than Spike. So I'll go with Justin Tucker, mixing it up and getting a pretty clear-cut decision win.
He's not fighting. Billy's not fighting the Ravens kicker, bro. He's fighting Gavin Tucker.
I said Justin Tucker?
Twice.
Oh, whatever. Fantasy football is all in my fucking head right now. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm kind of surprised by the line movement too, bro. Like, I'm with you. I was on Billy kind of pretty confidently pre-tape. I watched tape. I'm still on Billy. Billy is my pick. I'm going to go with Billy. I'm going to say he wins rounds 2 and 3 to a 29-28 decision. But I like what I saw on Tucker from tape, man. He's a good fighter. He's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. He does have good striking. Now, I do think Sam Cecilia made his striking and his movement look a lot better than it actually is. Like, if you watch that fight, Sam Cecilia made the guy look like he's fucking Floyd Mayweather, but he's not. He's all right. I give Billy the advantage here. Billy has a big reach advantage. Like, he's the much taller, longer guy. I think he uses that well. I think especially in rounds 2 and 3, I think obviously he'll be the fresher guy, man. I mean, he's got a cardio advantage here. Not only is it just a cardio advantage, he just gets more comfortable as the fight goes. So it's like it's a mix between the cardio and the fact that he's just one of those guys that just adjusts mid-fight and just starts, he puts it together mid-fight, man. I mean, you saw that in the Spike Carlisle fight. I think a lot of that did kind of have to do with Spike slowing down, but like Billy was doing all the right things. Like in that second round, Spike was just trying his hardest just to basically hold on to Billy. And every single time Billy was able to separate, he was putting damage on Spike. Those knees to the body were fucking nasty. His hands are good. He was going for sub attempts. And then eventually in the third round, he was able to dominate that round. I'm going to say he's going to take this one 29-28 rounds 2 and 3, but Tucker's no slouch. I think he'll win the first round.
Yes, sir. Next fight, we got Mackenzie Dern versus Bernard Jandiroba. Who you got?
Yeah, man, this is this is an interesting fight. One of those misconceptions I'm seeing all over the place right now is that the grappling is somehow even in this fight. Like, guys, I know you want to be excited. Verna Jandiroba, she had a great performance against Felice, great sub and everything. Like, the girl absolutely has elite BJJ. Like, it's fucking phenomenal. But you can't really compare it to Mackenzie Dern, who's been, winning championships in fucking high-ass level BJJ tournaments for, like, the better part of a decade. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this is one of those, rare spots where Verna will not have a grappling advantage, in my opinion. I think if this fight hits the mat, that's bad news for her, man. Advantage there. The only problem with Dern is I actually think Verna Jandiroba might be the better striker if it stays there. Mackenzie's striking is just god awful. I mean, the one thing I'll give her striking is that she does have God-given natural power for a 125 or actually 115. She's fighting at 115 here. She definitely has God-given power for a 115-pound chick. Problem is she doesn't really know how to use it. Maybe this is the fight where it looks better. Who knows? But based on what I've seen, I got to give Jandiroba the advantage on the feet, man. And is Mackenzie Dern? No, you don't think so? No? Is Mackenzie Dern going to be able to take down Verna Jandiroba is a question I have, and I just don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Verna could keep this on the feet and win there. I want you to talk about this fight, bro. So I actually think Verna's live, but I do think Mackenzie will eventually actually get this down to the mat and sub Verna, which kind of would be crazy. My thoughts are just all over the place on this fight, man. It's a weird one. So you think Mackenzie has a striking advantage?
So pre-tape, I thought, I still think Jandiroba was live, but pre-tape, in this fight, wanting to bet Jandiroba, I thought that she was going to be the better striker and stuff. Then I watched tape. I mean, I bet on her versus Esparza in her debut. Oh my god, dude! I mean, she made some really bad bonehead moves in that fight, and Esparza's just, she boxed her up, dude. Esparza had the better striking. You watched her fight against my girl Mallory Martin. Oh my god, dude! Her striking, Jandiroba striking was god awful, bro. Like her no head movement. She looked like she just didn't even want to be on the feet at all, dude. I thought her striking was atrocious. And then against Harry, we didn't really see anything. So, yeah, I don't think her striking is that good, man. I mean, I don't think Dern's is either. But one thing about Dern, we both got to say, she hits like a truck, bro. She has a right hand, dude, and she's hurt girls before, dude. So I know Anna Cyphers had her in a little trouble, but Dern's tough. I do think that Dern has more power. I don't think Jandiroba at all. It's hard. I think that both of them cannot strike. I mean, both of them are bad strikers, but I got to give the edge to Dern on the feet. They're both really good grapplers. Dern's the bigger girl. I think Dern can get her down. Even if Jandiroba takes her down, she's in trouble. So, yeah, I mean, on the mat, it's going to be beautiful to watch. We can see a lot of sweeps here, but I got to go with the bigger girl. I think Dern's the better grappler. I think she has a better jiu-jitsu, and I'm going to go with Mackenzie Dern by a submission. But on the feet, it's going to get ugly, but I do think that Dern's a better striker. I really do. That right hand she has is she hits like a truck. So next fight, we got Cub Swanson versus Daniel Pineda. Holy shit, dude! Now this is a fight right here, man. This is a great fight, dude. Pineda, dude. One thing about him that I didn't realize until when I watched tape is this guy has 100% finishing rate, dude. I mean, all of his wins are by finish. So if it hits the decision, I mean, I'd be worried because he never won a decision. But I mean, dude, you watched the fight against Herbert Burns. He looked really good, dude. And I think that a guy like Cub Swanson, I watched this fight against Gracie. It was atrocious to watch, dude. I mean, Gracie has no striking at all. He's a legit black belt, but the guy just did not have good wrestling either. I think he shot like once or twice in that fight. He tried to strike with Cub the whole fight. Cub looked really old in that fight. Cub looked washed. I think he's done. I don't think he has it anymore. I think that he's a good striker, and I do think he's more tactical than Pineda on the feet. But I mean, this guy just once he gets taken down, dude, it's over. Dude. He's been tapped out 7 times. But Pineda's a legit black belt. Pineda's a pressure fighter. He's a KO artist. He has good right hand. He's a brawler. I think it's a great matchup for Daniel Pineda. I think Cub Swanson's in very big trouble here. And even on the feet against fucking Kron, man. I mean, Kron landed like 90 strikes against him, dude. I mean, dude, Cub did not look, dude. I'm not gonna admit it. He did not look that good in that fight. He won every round. He did not look that good. I think Pineda's a way better striker than Gracie, and I think he's gonna have some moments on the feet. I think he's gonna be close on the feet. I think he's gonna get him down, and it's all she wrote, dude. I think he's either gonna pound him out or hand Cub his 3,000 submission loss. So I got Daniel Pineda. I think he makes this fight look easy here.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight, man. I mean, after looking into it, I mean, you do have to favor Pineda in this fight, man. I mean, not only does Pineda bring the style that Cub has struggled with, even in his prime, you mentioned it, he's been subbed a million times. So not only does Pineda bring that style to beat Cub, Cub's getting old, man. Pineda is, he doesn't have the BJJ that Kron Gracie has, but like Pineda's like a long-time veteran, like a shit ton of fights. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but like, he's obviously a lot more comfortable in MMA than Kron Gracie is. And I think his chances of getting the fight down are a lot higher than Kron's were. And I just see that happening, man. I see Pineda probably getting a takedown, and I'm looking at Pineda wins by submission plus 250 right now, which is a real juicy line on somebody who's been submitted 3,000 times. Yeah, I mean, that's the outcome I got to go with here, man. I think he takes down Cub, beats him up a little bit with some ground and pound, and I think he's going to lock something in. I mean, not only is Cub getting old, I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it, the injury he just had. He just got that ACL injury in grappling about a year ago. He's coming off that, too, on top of everything. And, I mean, you hear Cub these last couple fights. We don't know how – I mean, it definitely doesn't seem like we have much longer with Cub in the UFC. Like, I think he's on his way out, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Like, that's just what it is. I think he's, starting to make that entrance to life outside the sport, and I think Daniel Pineda certainly has a lot more left in him. We saw that in the Burns fight. He looked phenomenal there. I think a little bit of that has to do with let's be honest, Herbert Burns looked like shit that night, but on the other side, Pineda definitely looked on point. So I think you got to go with Pineda here, man. I mean, my brain's screaming Pineda by sub, so that's what I'm going with. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Next fight, man. We got a fight of the main card. We got Ciryl Gane versus JDS. This is a quick breakdown for me, man. I'm not going to spend that much time on this one. Yeah, I just think that a guy like Gane, he hits like a truck. He's a big dude. He's good everywhere. I think he's going to land on that chin of JDS. I don't think JDS should be fighting anymore. I do know that this is a step up. This isn't, Rosenstruck. This isn't, Nagano. But I do think this guy has a lot of potential. And I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane with a first-round KO.
I'll be honest, bro. I think Ciryl Gane might actually be in that conversation with the Ngannous and the Rosenstrikes. Not right now, of course, but in the future, absolutely, man. I mean, you look at the tape on this guy. I mean, I'll be honest. I see something special, man. For sure. Like the movement he has, like the athleticism he has for a heavyweight, it's definitely above average. He's got big power. He's got awesome striking. He's out there getting subs, too. You can tell he's a very fast learner. He's well-trained. There's really not much to dislike about this guy, Ciryl Gane. Now, I mean, you still got to give JDS the advantage, of course. Like, what is it? JDS has 30 pro fights. Ciryl Gane has 6. Obviously, that's a big advantage. I'd still say JDS has the more technical boxing. JDS is one of the best boxers in heavyweight history. The only problem is he going to be able to box with Ciryl Gane without getting knocked the fuck out? No. what can JDS do here, man? I mean, can he grapple? No, he never does that. I mean, and even if he did try to grapple, I mean, Gane's a fucking unit, bro. I'm sure he'd be able to stuff at least early. So it's hard to not envision this fight being a Ciryl Gane KO within the first, I'd say, 10 minutes. So that's what I'm going to go with. Again, I know there's not a lot of hot takes from me for this card, but I think the minus 400 is rightful. And I'm actually looking at the Ciryl Gane by KO prop at minus 130.
Nice fight, man. This is a fight that we both want to talk about a lot. We got Kevin Holland versus Renato Jacare Souza. Kevin, who you got?
Yeah, man, this is a great fight. We just saw the opponent switch. Kevin Holland was originally supposed to fight Jack Hermansson, and Jacare was supposed to fight Marvin Vettori. Interesting, man. I actually like this fight a lot more for Kevin Holland than the Jack Hermansson fight. And me and Justin were just talking about this, right before the podcast. And let me tell you why I like this fight better. I think, obviously, you look at the stats, you look at the tape, Kevin Holland can get taken down for sure. He's been taken down. That's the worry here. The thing is with Jack Hermansson, if he would have taken down Kevin Holland, I feel like the ground and pound that he presents is, so dangerous. Like, we know all about Jack's ground and pound. We just didn't see it this past weekend because, let's be honest, Marvin Vettori was just way too solid for him. But I would be worried if Jack took down Holland because of that ground and pound. Whereas if Souza takes him down, I feel like obviously our worry is the BJJ. Souza's a BJJ legend, but I mean, you look at it, Kevin Holland's a great BJJ guy as well. And I would say if Jacare can get this fight down, I don't think it's a one takedown and it's over situation whatsoever. I think Kevin Holland, he would do the right things. He would survive at least until the next round. Next round starts on the feet. Got to give Holland a big advantage there. So I do like this fight a lot more. Not only that, Jack Hermansson's a guy in his prime who just fought a hard-ass 25 minutes. Jacare Souza's he just turned 41. He hasn't won a fight since 2018, and it was against Chris Weidman, who, we know how Chris Weidman is these days. Before that, lost to Kelvin Gastelum. And one thing, another thing we were talking about with Jacare is some of these decisions he's getting. He hasn't exactly gotten the robbery per se, but like some of these judges are really making his losses look better than they actually are. Kelvin Gastelum fight should not have been a split. Kelvin Gastelum beat him up that fight. That was a win for sure. Jan Blachowicz, me and you agree. Jan Blachowicz won that fight 4-1. Jacare looked like shit. Jacare didn't do anything. And I know, hey, he moved up a weight class and he fought the current champ, but that's all good and well. But how did Jacare look? If you watch the fight, he looked like shit. Not good. He looked like a 40-year-old. Let's be honest. I think the Jack Hermansson fight took a lot out of him, to be honest, because the fact that he moved up to 205 pounds, I just saw that as career desperation. Like, Jacare, what are you doing? You're too small for 205, bro. And you can see it. He tried to get a hold of Jan. He just wasn't able to do anything with him. I don't know. It was very weird. I don't like the way Jacare's career is headed. I believe he is on the way out. And again, that's not disrespect. I think that's just a fact. He's 41, hasn't won a fight since 2018. And you look on the other side with Holland, we're talking about a guy in his prime, getting better every single time. His striking it's very good. The dude, the Buckley knockout was amazing. The Fluffy KO, I know it's Fluffy, and this is such a huge step up from Fluffy, but the way he handled them was, he did exactly what he should do. I think the guy's come a long way. The only problem is you look at his history with grapplers like Brennan Allen, got him down, subbed him in the second round. Even way back in the day, Rafael Lovato subbed him in the first round. So I get why money is coming in on Jacare, but at this price, Holland sitting here at minus 110, I think the value is on Holland all day long. I haven't moved in yet, but I got to be honest. I think there's value in Holland at minus 130 or better. So I got Holland here. I think he takes out the great Jacare Souza round 2 knockout.
Team Holland, man. Team Pro Picks. I will be playing Holland, man. One thing you didn't mention, which I'm surprised you didn't mention, but I mean, let's be honest, we're both just so fucking hung up on fantasy football right now, is Kevin Holland has a 9-inch reach advantage here, man. That is going to be huge, dude. I know he's been taken down. We get it. He has a good get-up game, though, but people will forget. Holland's a legit black belt on the mat, man. I don't think fucking Souza's gonna take him down one time and it's over, man. This isn't like we talked about off air. If Hermanson took him down, then yeah, Hermanson, I think, could have maybe pounded him out. But let's be honest, okay? I like Jack Hermanson. He's a good fighter, okay? But he went out there and hurt Souza multiple times on the feet. Holland is a way better striker than Jack Hermanson. Holland has a legit right hand, a good jab. I like his movement on the feet. I know the red flag with Holland is his cardio. He's gassed before. He gassed really bad against Allen. But he took that fight on really short notice, number one. He slowed down against Stewart. But Stewart's a heavy-hitting guy, and Stewart has underrated wrestling as well. But, I mean, Holland clearly won those first 2 rounds. That's the thing. Holland can get taken down. He fucks around a lot. He should have just kept the GM3 fight on the feet because he was legit picking him apart. If Souza takes him down, both those will be worried for sure, but it's not like it's one takedown and it's over. I think Holland could get up for sure. Do you think Holland could go out there and maybe even reverse a guy like Souza? Like, let me ask you that question on the spot right now.
I would say no. I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of the times with these BJJ black belts, when they get older, they start, the BJJ black belt kind of goes out the window, especially when you mix in strikes. They get hit hard once, and that BJJ black belt instantly becomes, a brown belt. I mean, one example I use is Vitor Belfort. Dude was known for some amazing BJJ, almost submitted John Jones, and then later in his career, you saw the black belt was non-existent. And I'm not going to say the same thing's going to happen to Jacare. I just think with age, things decline.
I think that the advantage on the feet the Holland has is a bigger advantage than Souza has on the mat. And I think Souza's tough. He's knocked out 3 times, once in the UFC, but he's been taking a lot of damage. He's been hurt in a lot of these fights lately. Kelvin hurt him. Hermanson hurt him. The fight with Jan, Jan clearly won that fight 4-1. It's just he's taking way too much damage. And that pullback right hand that Holland has that he hit against Buckley, the 9-inch reach, he's going to hurt him here, dude. He's going to drop him and get him out of there, man. I think it's a great match for him. That he's going to jab him up all day. Someone in the chat, shout out to, who was it that said it? Hold on real quick. Robot Chicken, I think, was it? Said that he had an injury against Stewart. I think he did. Yeah, he did have an injury against Stewart. So, there you go. So, I just think that he's slow, dude. Holland has a huge striking advantage here, man. And Holland's on the way up. Souza's on the way out. It's a great matchup. Minus 110 is a good line. I want to see if it hits plus money, but this is a good match for Kevin Holland, man. If you would have asked me this when he fought Santiago, if this kid's going to be a future, top 10 guy, maybe even farther than that, no. But if you watch the way he's been improving, man, and I know this is a big step up against Souza, but Kevin Holland is the real deal, man. He's not fucking around anymore. The striking is really good, dude. He's a legit black belt, dude. He has a lot of submissions. It's not like Souza takes him down, it's over. So I would not be surprised at one bit if Holland reversed him and got on top. So I'm going to go with Kevin Holland. I think he knocks him out. I really do. Souza's way too slow for a guy like Holland. Holland's way too fast, way too athletic. 9-inch reach, that jab, that pullback right hand. It's sad, but I think Souza's going to get knocked out here brutally. So next fight, man, we got another fucking banger, man. We got Renato Moicano, dude, versus Rafael Fiziev. This is a great matchup, man. This is a good fight. Moicano should be fighting at 55, 100%. He should not be fighting at 45. He got knocked out brutally against Aldo and Korean Zombie. And then he went out there and, beat one of the worst fighters in the division, who I bet on, Demir Hazovich. Monato has good grappling. He's a legit black belt. Obviously, that's how he wins this fight. He has to go out there and take him down. I will admit, he has a good jab. He has good kicks. He has a good right hand. I don't think Fiziev has the best boxing. I think this boxing is decent. He has a good straight left, but we know the game with Fiziev. He's a kickboxer. He has nasty kicks. Nasty switch kicks. Nasty kicks. Nasty knees. His pressure. His fucking kickboxing is legit. This guy is Peter Gan's fucking striking coach at Tiger Muay Thai. So I love his game. He's a pressure fighter. He looked really good against DKC. And honestly, man, I think Moicano has a chance to win this fight, especially if he takes him down. We have not seen Fiziev get taken down once in the UFC, but I mean, none of those guys compare to the grappling that Moicano has. But Moicano has a really bad chin, and I know he's going up a weight class, but Fiziev's a heavy hitter, dude. If one of those knees or kicks, or even one of that straight left, hits that chin, it's good night, Irene. I got Fiziev getting a KO here, and I think Fiziev could be a top 15 dude, man. I'm really impressed with this kid. He looked really good last fight, and I like this guy, man. I mean, he showed a lot of heart against Mark in that third round, so I got Fiziev. And one more thing, too. I don't think you can go out here and say he's chinny. He's been knocked out once, but it was a perfectly placed body kick, dude. And we all know Musafayev has legit kickboxing, so I'll go with Fiziev catching that chin. I think he's a great play for DraftKings, so I'm not going to bet it, though.
Yeah, you mentioned the last one against Diakese. One thing I want to say about that fight is that I thought Mark Diakese fought really, really tough and really well in that fight. It's just that Fiziev was too much. So I think that was actually a really good test for Fiziev. And not only did he pass, I mean, he passed for flying colors, man. I mean, the dude is a ridiculous kicker for sure. I can definitely see him hurting Moicano with one of those body kicks. I can see him hurting him, I can see him touching that chin. For sure, I think Moicano was probably in deep shit on the feet in this fight. Now, I will say, I think his durability will probably be a lot better at 155 than it was at 145, like for sure. Still might not matter. Fiziev still might be too much. Power still might be too much. But, I mean, I don't know. This is just a really tough one to call, man. Like, Fiziev was dog money the first time, and that was a lot more appealing for sure. But to come out here and actually put down minus 160 on Fiziev when, I mean, we were just talking about with the Holland Souza fight, we were saying that's definitely not a one takedown and it's over situation. This might be, if Moicano gets a takedown, I mean, I can't say I'd be shocked if he looks minus 400 on the mat. Like, it's just, can he get it there? Because, Fiziev is a real, short, stocky guy. Like, those guys are really hard to take down for sure. Such a low center of gravity. I don't know, man. I don't know if Moicano is going to be able to get this down. And I know he's taller. He's got a nice reach advantage. He's a good kicker of his own. But, yeah, I got to favor Fiziev here. I just don't like Moicano's chances to get it to the mat. And I like Fiziev's chances to knock him out on the feet. So I'm going to go with Fiziev. I'm going to say he gets a round 2 knockout. I can't bet this price because if he gets taken down, it could be a wrap easily.
Next fight, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with who I'm going with here. We got Tony Ferguson versus the Bronx. Before I say who I'm going to pick, I'm a big fan of both these guys. I've been a huge fan of Tony Ferguson, man. I bet on him so many times, and I'm also a big fan of the Bronx. But, shit happens, and, this is where they're at in their careers, and this is who I got. I got Charles the Bronx, 3 units at plus 140. This is my second play. I think it's a good matchup for him, man. I like Tony Ferguson a lot. It's just, I don't, it's all about how he's going to look after that fight. Cause I think Gagey, dude, definitely, man, gave him a lot of damage, dude. I mean, Ferguson got beat up in that fight really bad. It's all about what, Tony, we're going to see here. But even after that performance, man, I just don't think he's going to be the same after that. I really don't. And we've seen Oliveira, man, improve so much, dude. So much in these 7. Honestly, for me, it's after the Tamer fight because the old Bronx would have quit. He would have just gave up after that. But after he got hurt by Tamer, man, he went out there and finished him. And then even Kevin Lee had him in some spots. Everyone's talking about the pressure of Tony, which is, yeah, he has good pressure. But you know who the Bronx is? He has a great pressure. Both these guys have great pressure. And I actually think that the Bronx has a lot of advantage in this fight. I think he has the better striking. I think he has better boxing. I think he has a great right hand, a great jab. I think that he has really good knees. I think he can hurt Ferguson. If he hurts Ferguson, I think he can swarm him and get him out of there. Obviously, Ferguson has really good jiu-jitsu. I think both these guys have great jiu-jitsu. I don't think Ferguson will be shooting on them. I think the Bronx would actually take him down. It's just mind your P's and Q's. Don't get caught in that, that submission, that what is it? The snap city, Darce, whatever he has and stuff. But yeah, it's a 3-round fight too. So I think you got to favor him here too. And he has a great uppercut. Obviously, I got to give the cardio advantage to Tony. I mean, Tony, has really good cardio, and he has good elbows. He has a good right hand. He has a good jab and all that stuff. But I just think the Bronx, man, can hurt him. And I think the Bronx, all that shit is in the past, man. I mean, he looked really good against Kevin Lee, and that Tamer fight was a breaking point for me. So I think both these guys are great pressure fighters, and it's going to make it in a really good style here, man. But I think the Bronx is the better striking. I think he's going to hurt Tony Ferguson, and I think all that damage that Tony Ferguson took last fight against Gaethje is going to add up here. And I'm going out with a statement. I got Charles the Bronx with a knockout. I think he's going to hurt him, dude, and get him out of there in the second round. And I think the Bronx should be fighting for the title after this, man. The Bronx is a good fighter, man. And Tony Ferguson is a great fighter, too. He really is. But that Gaethje fight had a lot to do with this, man. I really think he's not the same guy. We're going to see it here. Charles the Bronx, KO.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a really tough time with this fight. The fact that I am having such a tough time with it, though, definitely tells me that the value's most certainly on the plus, what is it, plus 145, plus 147. So I do think it's do Bronx or pass from a betting perspective. As far as who I'm going to pick in this fight, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, it really all depends on how much that Gaethje fight took out of Tony Ferguson. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a lot, for sure. I think 3 rounds definitely is a lot better for Do Bronx than 5 rounds would be. Do Bronx definitely, I mean, dude's looking serious. His striking looks a lot better. 155 is definitely the weight class for him. Can't forget what a sick run Tony has been on, though. Prior to that Gaethje fight, like winning 11, 12 fights in a row, like all violently. I mean, dude's such a monster, good everywhere, so dangerous. I mean, if you really think about it, he does present that style to bring out that quit that Do Bronx has showed in the past. Now, I will say, Do Bronx hasn't showed that quit in him in a while. Like, he's definitely, I don't know if I guess it's a mental thing for sure. So, props to him for, coming out here and not quitting like he has in the past in a long ass time. But if there is a guy out there to, reunite Do Bronx with those quitter feelings, it would be Tony Ferguson. And even looking at the Gaethje fight, like he did well in that fight. Like he was winning the beginning of it. He even hurt and dropped Gaethje and arguably would have finished him if not Gaethje was saved by the bell. It's just Gaethje was too much. Like, man, it's so crazy that we kind of are forgetting about that Gaethje performance over Tony now, just because Gaethje got, he got embarrassed by Khabib pretty much. But god damn, that was such a fucking good performance by Justin Gaethje. Like, literally one of the best performances of the year. Like, when it comes to fighters fighting to their fullest ability, like displayed heart, everything. Like, I love that performance out of Justin Gaethje, and I know this isn't 5 rounds, it's 3 rounds. I just don't know if Do Bronx has that kind of performance in him. I don't know if Do Bronx has the power to just shut Tony's lights off. I'm not convinced that, obviously he has the most submissions in UFC history, but Tony's a fucking tough guy to sub. Like, I don't know if he's going to come out here and sub Tony. So, like, I don't know, man. I just kind of think if Tony shows up and looks like Tony, I think he outstrikes Do Bronx. I think he pressures Do Bronx. I think he can take Do Bronx to places he doesn't like on that mat, man. And it's so tough, but I'm actually going to go with Tony Ferguson here. I'm going to say he finishes Do Bronx in the 3rd round, but it's, very tough fight to call. I will say I think you're probably on the right side. You're looking at the lines. Like, I'd much rather play plus 147 Do Bronx than minus 160 Tony. So, yeah, I wish you the best of luck, but I think Tony Ferguson gets back on track.
Yeah, man, I really think this is going to be a life-changing beating for him, dude. And one thing about Tony, which we forgot, is he gets hurt in every fight, dude. All that damage, man, is coming up. He's always getting older. I'm telling you, dude, he gets hurt in every fight. Cowboy was boxing him up in that 1st round. Pettis hurt him. Lando hurt him. I love Tony, man, but all that damage, man, is adding up. And Charles the Bronx striking looks really good, dude. Straight. He had Kevin Lee, dude, shouldn't breaks all over that fight, dude. So I think Charles is gonna hurt him. I really do. And I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he submitted him either, man. Charles' jiu-jitsu is that good, dude. I think he hurts him. And if he hurts Tony, dude, I'm telling you, man, I don't think Tony can come back if he gets hurt because that Gagey beating was too much. But I love Tony. I think he's a good fighter, and I got Charles. Next fight, we got Brandon Moreno versus Davison. This is a tough fight, dude. Who you got here?
Man, this is a great fight. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I am much more intrigued by this fight than the Alex Perez fight. I knew I knew Alex Perez didn't, stand much of a chance whatsoever. However, Brandon Moreno, man, I think he brings some problems to Davison in this fight, man. I just view him as a much more firstly, Moreno's been in the UFC a lot longer than Alex Perez. He's even been in the UFC longer than Davison Figueiredo, if I'm not mistaken. Dude's definitely paid his dues. Even got cut, fought outside the UFC and the LFA scene. Got a big win. I think he looks way better in the second stint. Dude's getting better every time. I don't even know if this dude is in his prime yet. How old is Moreno? 27 years old? Dude's a beast. His grappling's there. His striking's there. I think he's come a long way from his 5-round main event against Sergio Pettis and all that. Moreno definitely deserves this title shot. I mean, I didn't even talk about his last one. I mean, yeah, you can say it's a fluke injury, but hey, he beat Brandon Royval in the first round. Good win. Yeah, I want to make arguments for Moreno here because I like him for sure. But it's just so hard to give him advantages over Davison. On the feet, Moreno might have more volume. He might be a little faster, but can he go strike for strike with Davison Figueiredo without getting hurt? Davison averages some insane rate of knockdowns, one knockdown for every 20 strikes landed or some shit, unreal. So I don't know if that's the route Brandon Moreno wants to take. It's definitely going to be the grappling, and we've seen it. We've seen Davison Figueiredo get taken down a lot, lose rounds via grappling. People thought Alex Perez was going to. I mean, Alex Perez took him down and got subbed literally instantly. Yeah, Brandon Moreno is not going to get subbed instantly. Brandon Moreno is a much smarter grappler than that. I think he can. I think he can give Davison problems on the mat. The only problem is, what's he going to be able to do to Davison on the mat? I mean, is he going to sub Davison? I don't think so. Davison's just too strong, too smart. Yeah, I guess Moreno could win a round from top control, but next round's going to start. He's going to have to take him down again, and Davison is just, I don't know. Davison's just too much of a problem. I think Moreno's going to give him too many opportunities at a knockout here, so I'm going to say Davison gets the knockout, but man, somewhere deep down, I feel like if Moreno fights the perfect fight, he might be able to edge out 3 rounds here. He might be able to sub Davison Figueiredo deep in the fight, 4th, 5th round if it happens to get there. I don't want to write Moreno off here at all. I want to give the guy a chance. It's just hard to. I'm going to go with the future long reigning champ in Davison Figueiredo to retain his belt.
Yeah, man. It's a great fight. I love Moreno. He's definitely one of my favorite fighters. I think that he's the best fighter in the division besides the champ. It's just really hard to play against Davison, dude. He's just too good. He gets outstruck in his fights, and he still finds a way to win. He's just a heavy hitter, dude. He's one of the heaviest hitters, I feel like, in the UFC, man. I mean, this guy's a great right hand. His ground game's legit. I just think he's a little bit better everywhere than Moreno. And I think that Moreno could have his moments here. I mean, we talked about that off air, but I can't pick against Davison, dude. This guy's too good. So we could be seeing these guys fight again in the future. So I'll say Moreno has some moments in this fight. I don't know if he can get knocked out, man. Moreno's hella tough, but he's been subbed. So I got Davison by submission. I think he's going to tap him out, and I do think that a guy like Moreno could have, look good here and have some moments. But Davison's a finisher, bro. He's going to find a way to get it done, Davison. So real quick, recap my bets. I have a bet on Tucker, and I have a bet on my boy Bronx. And I'm probably going to bet on Holland. You want to do your recap real quick?
I don't have any bets as of yet right now, my man, but I'm definitely looking at Kevin Holland. I'm looking at Chase Hooper via submission prop. I'm looking at Cyril Gane by KO prop. So looking at a couple props, looking at Kevin Holland. I I like Spivak a lot, man. Like, I keep going back to that. In a spot like that, I just feel like my read is really good. So I kind of want to get some money down on Spivak, man. I just feel good about that fight. But yeah, should be a good one, man.
Yes, sir. So that is it for us. We'll be back, next week. A great card next week, and I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe. Let us know down below who you guys have, and later, guys.